Ahoy there, I'm Captain Chris. I'm not a real captain, but I am going to share with you my first impressions of P&O's newest and biggest ship, ARVIA, from the first time we ever set foot on board in the summer of 2023. Now, ARVIA is absolutely massive, and that's one of the first things you notice about it as you're approaching it at the port. And if you see it alongside other ordinary boats, it's like an apartment block compared to a garden shed. ARVIA weighs in at a colossal 185,000 tonnes, easily carries over 5,200 passengers and around 1,800 crew. One of the most impressive features of the ship is the huge Grand Atrium area. But before I get to that, let me just mention the embarkation process. We drove down to Southampton to join the ship and were given a time slot in which to arrive. Obviously, with over 5,000 people all arriving on the one day, it's necessary to stagger everyone's arrival time. We drove into the docks easily, the car was parked for us, and we handed over our suitcases. Once we were in the building, the check-in process was quick, easy and efficient, with very little time spent queuing. Although you can make things easier for everyone if you enter the details required on the P&O website before you leave home. This will make things in Southampton quicker for you and also for the people queuing behind you. I would guess that the whole thing took no more than 25 minutes. Once you're on board, you're soon going to find yourself in the Grand Atrium. This is in the centre of the ship, which makes it a good place to start from if you get yourself lost. It covers 3 decks and is surrounded by piano bars, informal little eateries and one of my favourite restaurants, the Keel and Cow. The atrium is a great place to relax at any time of day, and there are enormous windows from top to bottom so you can watch the sea go by, and on some evenings they have acrobatic performances by entertainers dangling from the ceiling by ropes. One of our next priorities was to see the amazing retractable roof at the top of the ship called the Skydome, and I'm sure you're going to be impressed when I show it to you in a moment, but one of the first things you must do once you're on board is to attend your muster station so that you know where to go in the event of an emergency. It's important that you go, but it doesn't take long, so then we headed up to deck 16. There in the middle is the Skydome, which covers 2 decks. There's a good sized pool here which opens at 7 AM and there's a bar in each corner. There's a cinema screen here where they show family friendly films in the mornings, and there are singers in the evenings to entertain you. Sometimes there are tribute acts as well, and the shows are usually repeated 3 times a night, so you can fit them in around your evening meal. There's a street food venue here called Taste 360 that sells pizza, burgers and hot dogs, so you could eat there and enjoy the entertainment at the same time. Now, there's a fantastic pool in the ship's spa which I'll show you next, but let me also tell you that apart from the pool in the Skydome, there are some outdoor pools as well. One has a swim up bar, there's an infinity pool at the back of the ship, and the beachcomber bar and pool is for adults only. ARVIA is a family friendly ship, in fact it's great for families, but if you're travelling without kids and want some time away from other people's, this is a good option for you. So once we'd had a look at the Skydome, we went off exploring the ship and trying to get our bearings. As we walked past the Oasis Spa, a crew member offered to show us around, and we were really impressed with how nice everything was inside. There's a beautiful spa pool and loads of other rooms where you can have every kind of wellness and pampering treatment you can think of. Although these come at an extra cost, lots of cruisers love them, and there are offers to be had for price reductions, particularly on port days. There's a huge gym too, full of running and rowing machines, many of which face the windows, and there are weights to lift and staff to help you get the most out of the facilities. Of course, if you're going to burn all those calories off, you're going to need to put a few back on. So the next places we looked at were some of the many onboard restaurants. And I'll tell you which my favourite meal of the fortnight was in just a moment. ARVIA has about 30 places to eat and drink, so I won't list every single one right now, but I have made another couple of videos about the restaurants, so maybe you could look those up after you've watched this one. The first places we had a look at were the two main restaurants called Meridian and Zenith, which are located one above the other and connected by a staircase. They're both huge. They serve the same menu as each other and we loved them, but if you don't try some of the other restaurants on board, you'll be missing out. One that we really liked was the Olive Grove, which serves a Mediterranean style menu. The menu changes in the second week of your cruise, so it's worth going at least twice. We also had a look inside the 6th Street Diner, which is a modern retro American diner and is really popular with families. And it's close to the Ocean Studios multi-screen cinema on deck 6. But you need to go up a couple of decks to find our favourite meal of the holiday. That was at the Keel and Cow, which is in the style of a British gastro pub, where my personal favourite was the Prime Minister burger. After that we had a sharing dessert between us and we were in heaven. Of course, looking round all the restaurants is all very nice, but what we really wanted to see was our cabin, so that's where we're heading next. And that took us past Anderson's Bar with its own distillery where they make their own gin, the casino for those who are feeling lucky, and Brodie's Bar with its daytime quizzes and lively evenings. Our cabin was on deck 9, so I'll show you around that next. But before I do, could I please ask, if you're finding this video at all interesting or useful, would you please hit the subscribe button and allow notifications. Subscribing doesn't cost you anything, but it means you'll know when I post another video, and it lets me know you're enjoying my content, which would mean a lot to me, so please subscribe. Thank you. Now, a quick look in our cabin, which was a balcony cabin. It was a lovely cabin, we thought, with a really nice balcony. The bathroom was much bigger and better than the last P&O ship we'd been on, and there was plenty of storage, a good TV, a sofa and a fridge. There were 3 plug sockets, 2 USB sockets and tea and coffee making facilities. We were very comfortable, and although we spent a lot of time exploring the ship and using its facilities, the time we did spend here was always a pleasure. We thought we'd remembered to pack everything that we could possibly need for our cruise, but it turned out there was one thing we needed that we would have never thought of in a million years. And if you'd like to know what it was, you need to watch my video on packing essentials, and there'll be a link to that appearing up here in a few seconds. Until next time, happy cruising and thanks for watching.